Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Yeah, we have created these items now. So let's assign these to our payroll. Okay, so let's go to the payrolls. We will pick our payroll. Let's first start with the fixed rule. We will pick our fixed rule, Australian. Okay, yeah. Then processing matter, we are not going to do anything. Pungent representation rule, we have our own pungent representation rule done. Then sign off restriction, we have our own. Let's put that also done. So that's it. And again, as I told you, Kiran, we have created holidays in this holiday list. Whatever the holidays needed in this holiday, what we did is we just give the holiday name, what day the holiday is, so where to see which employees are applicable for what holidays, that is through payrolls. Payroll. We have a different tab called holiday tab. We can choose what are the holidays which is applicable to this particular payroll. So I'm selecting few holidays here. And I'll just click on update version and save. So these employees will have these holidays and the items which we have created. And the fixed rule processing under now it's time we'll test it out to our payroll. Let's pick the employee with whom we have assigned this. I'm not sure whether this is the guy. So now let's test our payroll. This is the employee we have assigned to. First item we are going to see is, let me say I'll go to next paper. So you can see now the pay period is coming for 2 weeks, which is based on our fixed payroll 14 days. You can see that right. So first fixed rule is working. And now we have chosen schedule in day right. So whatever the hours work will go to that particular day. You see here, if I put 8 am to maybe 2 am, even if he's crossing the 12 am, the total hours is going into that particular day only. It's not going to the next day. Even after 12, he's working 2 hours. That is also going to Monday's hours only. So fixed rule is working properly. Our pay period has changed to 14 days. And we see all the hours working goes into the in punch day, the day he hasn't punched. So that's why first item is working. Second item is the punch interpretation rule. Second, we'll just test it out, the missed punch. Let's say I'll put 4:30 p.m. here. It shouldn't allow us to save it. We have a sign of restriction. Let's see. We have saved it. Now let me try to approve and then sign off. Approve, I think it would allow, but after that signing off it shouldn't allow. Okay, this is next. We'll add signing off. We can do only on the previous pay period. So how do I test it out now? Sign off. 1 second man I need to assign. This payroll is assigned to the employee with the effective date of 1st of this month. So I'll just change it to some previous date. From 11 only it's assigned. So we need to test it out what previous date means. I need to give it a little bit back. A previous pay period is okay, somewhere around 10 T23. This payroll with the effective date of 10.23. Sign up. We can test it only on the previous pay period. 10.23. What was this error? No, it was just throwing out the refresher. Before sign off, I opened this page right. So once I refresh it, it will go. Sometimes there will be a lag between this window and this window. That's fine. Just refreshing it so that it's okay. Now let me do one thing. I'll just delete these punches and I'll put a missed punch. Now this day, the employee has started 6 am, but he might have missed to punch in. Or sometime the system might have some issues and it didn't capture his punch. So now he has missed a punch. Let me try to sign off. Yeah, you can see here, right? The time card cannot be signed off because it contains one or more violations, and the violation it is stating. What is the violation? It is stating Mr. Punch. You can see missing punches. So for unexcused absence or missing punches, we can have this, but unexcused absence will not be mostly using it for missed punches. We will be using it missed punches because the employee has worked his total hours and missed out. If you see, currently he is having 0. Only if the manager fixes it at 6 am, then it will allow him to get the payment. So it will affect the payment. So mostly we will have it for missed punches. So that is one thing. Then we have tested sign off restrictions also. Next what we do? I will remove it from the code. Sign off restriction. Now we need to test the punch interpretation. So as per our punch interpretation rule, if an employee starts at 8 am up to 7 am, if he punches at up to 7 am, it should consider it to be in the same line with the shift. If he punches before 7 am, it should leave him out of the shift. So 7 am I am punching in. It is showing early and only, but it is considering along with the shift itself. So now let me try to put it at 6:30 am. I am trying to save it. Now it went out of the shift because that is how we have created our punch interpretation. Let me open the punch interpretation rule so that we get an idea of what exactly we are testing. So up to 1 hour before it is an early start margin. It will keep us within the shift, and same for late start also. So if you are testing up to 7 am, it allowed us inside the same line. Once we go beyond 1 hour, it will consider it to be an unscheduled punch. Clear on what we are testing. And again we have another item which is before 2 hours. If the employee tries to punch in, it should reject the punch. So that means in the system. I am not sure whether we will be able to test it. This will happen through clocks. So my shift is starting at 8 am. If I am trying to punch in by 5:50 am, now here in the time card it is allowing, but usually how the employee do is they will swipe in and swipe out when they are swiping in and out. If you put a restriction of 2 hours in that device, it will say the punch is rejected and it will not go to time card. Clear? And same for the latent restriction. After 1 hour, his shift is ending at 4:30 p.m. If he is trying to punch out after 5:30 p.m., as per the configuration which we have created, the particular clock or the device which is using to swipe out will reject his punch. If we manually enter, it will accept it because we are not the employee, we are the super user. We can enter whatever the hours we want in the time card. Same goes to the manager also. Manager also can enter his time card. But if an employee is trying to swipe in or if an employee is trying to enter the punches, it will reject it. That is about the punch and representation rule. So sign off restriction, we have seen fixed rules are also completed. And punch and representation rule is also completed. So last one is holiday. So we saw how we have created holiday for the entire company. And also we saw in our payroll how we are assigning the holidays based on a particular location or a particular country or a particular region. We can select what are the holidays applicable to that particular payroll. Now we need to see how an employee is getting paid for this. How many hours should be paid? How it is getting paid? Under what pay code he needs to get paid for a holiday, so that all depends on holiday credit rules. So what this does is, for example, I will open this holiday credit rule. We can assign this to a payroll or the work rule. What this does is we need to first see how we are going to pay him. And is there any condition for the holiday credit to be provided? We can say the employee should work before and after the day to get the holiday credit. If he is not working before or after the day, that means he is not eligible for holiday credit. We can give conditions or we can give good conditions either one day before or after he should be working. Only then he will get the holiday credit. We can define these conditions here. And there are some other options like there are work history, workplace, which is not needed. We can also have these items. To get a particular holiday credit, the employee should be at least employed for 30 days or 90 days. Usually the companies will have probation periods. It will be 3 months or 6 months. In that particular time, a particular company has a rule for not giving any holiday credits on that. They will be able to take leave, but there are no payments for that. We can define it here. We can say 90 days. So for 90 days from the time the employee is first 90 days, he will not get any holiday credits. After 90 days only he will start uploading it. So these conditions we can give, or it can be based on the time employed, or it can be based on the time he is active on the application. And time employed means some people might be employed. They might start this month. And after 2 months they might go on maternity leave and then they will come back after 1 year. So 6 months or 7 months. In that case, this particular day's employee will not work because it will just see the higher day. But in that case, active can work because they have worked only 2 months and then now they are inactive. They will come back again after 6 or 7 months and then they will work 1 or 2 months only. Then this will consider it to be 90 days. That is the difference between days employed and days active. These are just conditions. What are the conditions to be met to provide a holiday credit? The credit. This is just the eligibility. So credits is here in this column. Here we will define whether it's a fixed number of hours or hours from the schedule. So other items we will not be mostly using it. The two items which we will be using is fixed number of hours and hours from the schedule. Hours from the schedule means it is pretty straightforward. For that particular day, what schedule he is having. This guy is having AM to 4:30 PM and out of that 30 minutes break. That means he is having 8 hours schedule. So apparently it will provide 8 hours of holiday credit. If an employee is having 6 hours schedule, it will provide 6 hours of holiday credit. Apparently, it will fetch it from the schedule. What schedule he has, how many number of hours he has in the schedule. It will provide that. Or if you want to give them in a fixed number of hours, you can. Okay, I'm going to give irrespective of what he is having. I'm going to give him all the holidays in 8 hours. And the next item here is which pay code. Here we are using a pay code called holiday credit. If you want to choose a different pay code and pay him in a different way, we can choose all the pay codes whichever we have created about T1 to T2.5, everything will be here. What pay code the particular credit needs to go, we can select it from here. So here by default, it is having a pay code called holiday credit. It's using that. So other items, we need not to change anything. It will be by default what it is there. Everything goes on to what pay code we have selected here. Okay, so only thing we need to choose there is whether it's based on the hours from the schedule or fixed number of hours. If it is fixed number of hours, we need to give what hours. If you are choosing hours from the schedule, no need to give anything. Amount will automatically consider from the shift the employee hours. And again, if you choose hours from the schedule, there is one more option. If there are multiple shifts for a day, what shift the system should consider? We can use the first shift, use the sum of all shifts. Usually it will not happen. For a particular day, the employee will have only one shift. So this is in case if an employee is working in night shift, right, 10 PM to 6 am, and again next day also you have 10 PM to 6 am. In that case, you can say use the first shift. And here again the same thing hours belong to. If an employee is in the third shift, which day the hours should belong to, whether it should belong to in day, out day, day with majority hours, or day actually work. Or we can directly use a say no need to confuse anything. Whatever we have given already in the fixed rule, let it follow the same. So usually we will do that only use fixed rule setting. Mostly this will be like fixed hours only. They will be getting 8 hours of credit for each of the hours they worked on the holiday. So this is actually holiday. Credit rule is basically if an employee doesn't work on the holiday. Because usually we will not work on the holiday. But these hourly employees are entitled to get payment for public holidays. So that is the purpose we have this. Let me just duplicate this and I will create a new one for Austin. I am just going to do the same thing. I am just going to change it to Austin. We are going to give the employee 8 hours of credit irrespective of what he has worked under the fixed rule. This, I think we need to map it in work rule. Let me just see. Holiday credit rule. Currently is not, I am just using Austin FD. That's it from here. So with this we have almost completed all the items in the pay policy. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.